Good morning, folks. You are with Ivan Lazar. Today we're going to be designing the cover for the useless box. So I've loaded up the image from where we left off in the last video, and just making sure that the main project is highlighted. We're going to go and basically assemble a new component. Let's call that cover. Now, when you always have new components assembled, it makes it a lot easier in the sense that you can always look at what actions you are actually doing with each component, right? It gives you a very structured way of designing this. All right, so the cover is going to go at the top there, and well, the kind of problem we have is that there is actually no paper there, right? So we kind of need to put a piece of paper there, and then we can start from there. All right, how are we going to do this? If you remember, when we built this top here, we actually did an offset plane of 50 from the bottom, and so the cover basically is going to sit at about the same plane, and so we're going to design it that way. So that's one way of doing it. Or you can even select the cover itself as the plane that you want, but I find that makes it a little bit more difficult for me to manage it. So I'm just going to go ahead and create an offset plane from the base. So we're going to construct offset plane. We've got to select that. So I'm trying to select the base. So again, let's turn off the eyesight for the wall. That gives you access. So we're going to select that. Right, what we select is the top of the base, and the arrow is up. Right, so we're going to do a distance of 50. That's going to give you a plane that's 50 above. Now let's just rotate that just to see that we are in the correct orientation. See that plane is exactly where the top sits, right? So we can just do a quick check that we got the correct dimensions. Escape to come out of the orbit. Action, and then clicking OK. There we go. That's our paper that we have there. Now we can create a sketch, and that's going to go on that plane. All right, so let's put it in a nice orientation for us. I'm just going to pan that to put that in the center of my screen. Escape key to come out of the pan action. Let's turn the walls back on so we can see what we are doing. There we go. Right, and so this is what we have. All right, so let's do a 2-point rectangle. Now I'd like you to keep this particular drawing not anchored to anything, right? Because we're going to dimension quite a few things there. So don't lock it onto the edge. Don't lock it onto the edge. I just need you to get it onto this back wall. All right, so this back line there, just making sure you click anywhere along that back line, first corner. And you notice I've left a little bit of a gap there, and then coming down and just about clicking. Don't see that. Do not lock it onto there. Just somewhere there. All right. We will dimension this a little bit. So what I have drawn is a rectangle that is smaller than 3 sides of the box we have, but it lines up with that edge. All right, so it lines up with that edge. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to dimension, right? That and this. Let's make that 1. Enter. Oh, yikes. So that has become too small because it's moved instead. So I'm going to dimension this to make it 71, so that will lock it into place then. Then we are back where it is, yes. So there's a 1 millimeter gap there. Let's dimension from there to, I can't lock this. Can you see that? I am not able to select that line there simply because it's not on this particular sketch. So what we then need to do is to do a projection line. Just like this purple line here, we're going to do a projection line. We're going to hit a P, And let's select this line here, right? So I've got P there, so just move that out of the way a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to select that, there we go, that line. And I'm going to do one more at the bottom, right? So we've got to do one more here, another projection line, and we go, okay. Next step, now we can dimension from there to there, and I want that to be 0.3, right? It is snug, but just enough tolerance for the cover to be able to rotate. And again, 0.3 again. There we go. All right. So we've got 0.3 tolerance on both sides, right? That allows the cover to open and close. And there's a 1 mm tolerance just right there so that it's able to not hit the edge when it is closing. Now we obviously need to create a hinge, right? So let's do that now. So we're going to go with the 2-point rectangle. And let's just click it onto here. Yeah, 1 and somewhere there. All right. Okay, so let's dimension this. All right. So can you put thickness on that one? Okay, there we go. And let's dimension that wall as well, and I'm going to put it on this side instead. We're going to make that 3.3. Enter. Okay, that's worked. And obviously we need to know how far it is from that edge, so we're going to go click on that, followed by that, and that's going to be a 3. Now this is not the thickness, this is just, I just want it to be 3 millimeters from the edge. All right, so we've made that into a 3 as well. Okay, we're going to repeat that process on the other side. All right, let's go on this side. Same thing again, 2-point rectangle. So we're going to lock it on, not to that line, but so remember, don't select the purple line. We want to lock it onto here. All right, we're just going to here and to there. Escape. Come out of that rectangle. Now we obviously got to dimension that. Okay, so that's going to be thickness. Enter. And then let's dimension this as well. Yep, that's going to be 3.3, but look, it is 3.3. I'm just going to type it in anyway, right? It's just 3.3. And one more dimension, how far it is away from the back wall. That's going to be a 3. Enter. All right. So we've got our cover and 2 tabs. Escape to deselect all our tools. And well, we have the problem again. Yes, it's picking up the main rectangle, but it's not picking up the 2 little tabs just because of that trim. So you guessed it. Let's trim that. So we find the trim icon. Let's zoom in so we don't trim the wrong line. Okay, and the line we need to trim is this one here, right? I'm going to click it once. Now sometimes a single trim works, but most of the time I see there's double. No, see that it still doesn't select that. So we're going to trim one more time. There we go. Okay. Ooh. Okay, it's so the projection line is also getting in the way. So we're going to trim one more time. Let's get rid of that projection line. Oh, I can't access it now, can I? All right. So let's click on the projection line, and I'm going to hit delete. Okay, that worked a lot better. So sometimes Fusion may complain because we did use the projection line for some dimension. So Fusion might complain that's not being done, in which case you just have to select a different line as a projection line, yes, just so it does not interfere with that. Okay, so we're going to trim this again now on this side. Let's trim, and if you remember, we're going to do it twice, so let's do it one more time. All right, that's done. And let's get rid of that projection line. All right, and there you go. You now have the cover that's fully done. And let's go finish sketch. Let's go to home, and there you see that. Do a press pull. That's what we want to do. New body, that is correct. Or did we not select it? Select it again. Yeah, there we go. So press pull, that's going to go up, and the distance is thickness, which is what you want. Now please make sure your arrow is pointing up. If it's pointing down, you've got to put it in as a negative thickness. New body, then click OK. So that's done. If you bring your active component back to the main object, there you go. All of the pieces are done, and we will, that's the end of this video. Please save your work, and we'll see you for the next one.